All right, we're playing 2-5 now. We're about to go in. There's a special promotion today that's pretty great. It's $1,000 every half an hour, so it should be packed. There should be a 2-5 going on right now, and it should be a long session from 3 to midnight. So that's how long the $1,000 is going on. So let's get a seat. As expected, the room is full, and there's a 2-5 going on with an open seat. So let's get right into it. We buy them for $1,000. Head to the table, and yeah, it seems like there's a good amount of regs, but still seems like there's good action, plenty of money to be made, and it will get even better since pretty soon we're going to put on the mandatory 2-5-10 straddle. So let's get right into the first hand. First hand in, we got king queen suited under the gun. We make it $15 and just get the big blind to call, so heads up to a flop. Flop is pretty good, 6 queen 3, so top pair, king kicker. When he checks, we see bet for $15, and he check raises us to 45. And yeah, being the big blind, he has a very wide range. He'd have queen 6, I guess queen 3 suited as well. I don't know if he's calling with 6-3 suited, but I wouldn't be surprised. And he has all the 3s, all the 6s. I doubt he has pockets queens, just calling, and we block that. But yeah, there's a bunch of draws, so we're not going anywhere. We call. All right, guys, I want you to focus and imagine the worst possible turn, okay? Ready? 1, 2. Good job. 2 of hearts. So all draws, pretty sure get there. 4-5 is now a straight, and all of the flushes. And he bets for $60. And with that in mind, I probably should fold, but the bet felt on the smaller side, and maybe he was getting a little crazy with a top pair. Maybe just chopping against a king queen, or could he be doing this with queen jack? Probably not. I just got sticky here, and I called once again. River is an 8, and now he bets 150. And yeah, that bet, this run out, I definitely think I'm beat, so I fold, and he takes it down. We've now got the mandatory straddle going on, so it's 2-5-10. When I look down at pocket queens and under the gun 2, I make it $30 and get the hijack, button, and big blind to call, so 4 ways to a flop. Flop is 3-4-5, 2 hearts, so pretty interesting. Definitely not the best for our range. So not sure if I should bet here, but I don't have to think about that since the big blind donk bets for $75, and I don't usually play against this guy. He's around a lot, but he plays PLO most of the time. So yeah, definitely not folding. I think raising will be overplaying my hand, maybe. Since he's donk betting with 3 of us left to talk, that seems pretty strong. So I just call, and the button calls as well. So 3 ways to a turn. Turn is a deuce, so not the best. Now there's a 4-liner on the board. Any 6 or ace have a straight. And now the big blind slows down and checks. And I just think I got to check here. I feel like if I bet, I'm turning my queens into a bluff. And I don't have that many 6s. The button and big blind have way more than me. So I check, and the button checks as well. River is a 10, and big blind checks once again. And I'm happy to go to showdown. I don't see what hands that are worse than mine will be calling if I bet. And the button could be being safe with the ace himself that has that straight. So I check, and the button does check as well. And the big blind shows pocket 4s for a flop set. So definitely that turn saved us a good amount of money. And the button had pocket 7s, so the big blind takes it down. With that hand, we're down 365, but it's really not that much, being 2-5-10, and we have plenty time to make it back. We switch seat to get a better view when we're done a king jack off in the cutoff. There's 2 limpers, so I make it $50, and out of small blind, 3 bets to 180. I wasn't loving this spot with king jack off, since if I call, the pot would be over $300, and I'd have a little bit over 2 times pot. So yeah, definitely not loving the spot. I'm not sure what his 3-bet range is, so I just find a fold, feeling like I could find better spots. Very next hand, we get an upgrade with pocket jacks in the hijack. Under the gun 1 makes it 30. Under the gun 2 calls. We 3-bet to 120. Now that button puts out a cold 4-bet to 275. It folds back to us, and this is the same player as the previous hand that 3-bet us. So yeah, back to back, really. Yeah, not loving this spot. Especially cold 4 bets. I don't think in these games people ever bluff, and I think the hands we're doing it with is basically ace king that we're flipping against, and if not, aces, kings, and queens that we're way behind. And on top, the fact that he just 3-bet me in a previous hand, I feel like he's gonna be tighter on this one, since it seems like he's kind of going crazy, making it more likely for me to call, not believing him. So because of that, I think he's extra tight. So yeah, I don't like the spot. So once again, I fold, and he flips over ace king, telling us that, he's not going crazy. So yeah, that was the best case scenario, I think. But yeah, happy with my fold. I think on the long run, I'm just losing money calling this spot. Things are not going the right direction. We're down $600 now. Let's see if ace jack off and under gun 2 can fix that. Under gun 1 limp, so we make it $40 and get the under gun straddle and under gun 1 to call, so 3 ways to a flop. Flop looks pretty good for Jack 10. So you have top pair, top kicker on a very wet board. So when it checks to us, I'm going to bet on the bigger side. I make it $75. Now the undergun calls, and now undergun 1 check raises to 250. So okay, I was definitely expecting this on such a wet board. I think we're always beating undergun here since he's very aggressive. So the fact that he called, I think he most likely just has a medium strength hand. And now undergun 1, we got to consider he limped pre-flop, so he does not have jacks. I don't think he has 10s. I don't think anybody's limping with jack 4 or 10-4. I don't think he's that wide. So that just leaves jack 10 and pocket 4s that we're losing against. And how many draws are on his board? So many, and he's a pretty aggressive player. So yeah, he's representing such a little amount of hands. Maybe if I had king jack, I'd find a fold since he could be doing this with 8 jack himself. But yeah, I'm just hoping he has a flush himself. So let's do it. He just has 220 behind, so I make it 500. Undergun pretty quickly folds, and he snap calls. That's expected. I don't have any fold equity here. Let's see the run out. Turn is a 9, and he seems upset. That's bad news since now it seems like he's worried about draw. So most likely he has value himself. River's another 10, and he shows us the bad news was jack 10 for a river full house, and he takes it down. Now I'm pretty frustrated. I'm down 1100. Yeah, not fun running like garbage while playing bigger stakes, since usually I always play 2-5 or 1-3, since sadly the 2-5 isn't always going on at this casino. So we are super excited playing bigger stakes, and we run like garbage. I think I'm playing pretty good. I mean, maybe some of those pre-flop spots I should call. I just feel usually I'm used to people being pretty tight pre-flop, so I'm happy with my folds for how usually these games are. But yeah, we're down like 1100 in under an hour and a half. That sounds like a lot, but again, this is double the stakes. So if it was 2-5, it'd just be 550. If it was 1-3, it'd be like what, $300, a little over that. So seeing it that way, it's not that much. And you know, one big hand, we can make all that back. We got plenty of time to go. We have over 6 hours. That's a whole session. We can make it back as long as we focus and play a game. Not let that affect us. We can win. We're a winning player here. So that's what I'm telling myself. I'm a winning player. I could beat this game. I'm beating this game. I'm just running bad. So if I focus, I can make that back. So let's move on to the next. All right, next hand we have ace king off in undergun 1. I make it $30 and only the undergun straddle call. So heads up to a flop. Flop comes ace high. He checks. I see bet for $30 and he folds. Let's go. We won our first hand of the session. A tiny ass pot, the tiniest one so far. But I don't care. It's good for the morale. Just the fact that I won a pot. This makes me feel better. Just pushes me to, yeah, we got it. We're good. We can make it back. We're going to win pots. We're going to make our money back. All right, next hand, we're going to cut off with ace jack off. We make it $30. Undergun straddler calls. Flop comes king high. He checks. We see bet for $30. And he folds. That's how we do it, guys. We just need like 30 more of these pots to break even. We got it. On to the next. All right, next hand we have queen jack suited, the undergun 1. I make it $30, and surprise, surprise, the button 3-bets me to 105. And yeah, now I just feel like they see me folding a lot and they think they could 3-bet and just take it down. So I gotta stand my ground at some moment, right? But the big blind cold 4-bets to $230. So okay, that is a green light to fold. So once again, I fold. Now a new player comes in and we're all kind of bummed because we know him and we know he doesn't like to straddle. We try to convince him, but yeah, he does not want to. So now we're just back to 2-5. So not the best situation. Losing a bunch in 2-5-10 and trying to make it back in 2-5 makes it a little extra hard. But let's try to do it. Let's move on to the next hand. The next hand is straddle, but it's not obligatory anymore. So it's 2-5-10 once again. And I look down at pocket aces in the low jack. Undergun 1 makes it $40. It's on to us. We're 3-betting. I make it 120. Things get even better because it folds to the big blind and he goes all in. But he's a short stack, but still $300. It folds to undergun 1 and he goes into the tank. And I'm like, please call, please call. I just beat a most amazing spot. Sadly, he does end up finding the fold and we snap call. Let's see the run out. Flop comes 9-5-10, all clubs. Thankfully, we have the ace of clubs. Turn is a deuce and river is another ace. So we river top set. He doesn't want to show, so I show him the pocket aces and they are good. So we take it down. Crazy thing is that undergun 1 had pocket 10, so he would have flopped top set and we would have rivered him, but still a great pot. On to the next, we got pocket queens in undergun 1. There's an undergun straddle, so I make it $30, and this is the undergun call, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes 9, 5, 7, so we got an overpair and a queen high flush draw. He checks, I c-bet for $25, and he calls. Turn is the deuce of clubs, so now we have a queen high flush, and now under the gun leads out for $60 that I was pretty surprised about. Yeah, looks strong, and I think I just got a call here. Raising doesn't make sense and folding feels a little too tight, so I call. Let's see a river. River is an ace, and now he checks. And yeah, the line he played, I don't know if anything worse is going to call me. Maybe if I bet really small, but maybe he had a king of clubs and is pot controlling now, scared that I have an ace. Anyways, in the moment, the line was super strange, so I decide just to play it safe. I check, and he shows ace deuce for 2 pair. So he turned a deuce, and I guess he turned it into a bluff. That was definitely interesting. I really didn't think there was many bluffs in this spot, but hey, he had one, and we take it down. On to the next with the ace queen suited in the small blind. Button makes it 15. I 3-bet to 60, and our phone gets stuck, so you guys will have to believe me on this one. The button calls, so we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes king 8-3 rainbow, and I'm always going to be putting out a c-bet here. I make it $40, and he calls. Turn is a jack. Now we have a gut shot to the nuts, and that sounds like a good card to barrel on. Let's try to get every hand that isn't a king to fold. That they probably will, since we bet small on the flop. There's going to be a lot of calls. It's pocket pairs, eights. I don't know about bottom pair, but very likely as well. So kings aren't folding, but almost everything else is, and that is the goal when we bet $110. And he does pretty quickly fold, and we take it down. One orbit later, we are in the same spot, small blind, a little worse hand, king queen suited, but still a premium. So when the button makes it $15, just like he did last time, well, I'm going to 3-bet him again. I make it 60, and he calls. So heads up to a flop. Thankfully, we hit the board this time when it comes king 9-3. So top pair, queen kicker, c-bet for $40, and he pretty quickly folds. So we take it down once again. Now we're just down $700. Things are going the right direction. 2 hours to go, we were down 11. So 700 sounds pretty good, but let's try to make it even better. Now we look down a king queen suited in the low jack, under the gun, and under the gun 1 limps. So I make it $25. Folds under the gun, and he 3-bets to 100. It folds to us, and yeah, I'm in position. I got a beautiful hand. This is a tighter player, and limp 3-bets from under the gun is just so stupid strong. So yeah, I think about it for a little while. We're not super crazy deep, so I do end up just folding it, and he's nice enough to show pocket kings, so we were definitely way behind. We're not getting much diversity of hands, but I'm not complaining since we have pocket queens in the cutoff. I make it $15, and only the big blind call, so heads up to a flop. Flop is 6-5-3, so definitely a better board for the big blind. He checks to us, and with overpair, there's still a lot of draws. I don't like checking here, so I'm just going to bet on a bigger side. I make it $20, and he check raises us to 50. That I was definitely not surprised about, again, because this board is just better for him. But yeah, not going anywhere, I call. Turn is a jack, and now he bets 130. And yeah, if no draw comes in, no clubs, especially no clubs, or maybe some card that brings in the straight, I am not folding here. So once again, I call. River is an ace, and now he slows down and checks, and I didn't see the merit in betting here. It's very likely he just has a missed draw that is just going to fold, and is anything better than pocket queens going to call? I don't think so. And as well, there's a chance that he was check raising with the nut flush and he rivered a ace, and now is just pot controlling. So yeah, I do end up checking back, and he shows king 10 for flop, flush draw, and overcards. So we had to fade a good amount of cards, and thankfully we did, and we take it down. Next time we're in the low jack with ace queen suited. I make it $15, and only the button calls, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes jack 7-5. So not the best, but not the worst either. We got 2 overcards and a backdoor straight draw. So seems good enough to put out a c-bet. I make it $15, and he calls. Turn is a beautiful queen. So now we have top. Let's get some value. I make it $40, and he doesn't seem happy. He thinks for a little bit, but does end up calling. So let's see the river. River's not the best. It's a 10, so the flush gets there. Jack 10 is beating us. I don't think he has 9-8, calling twice with a gut shot on a flush draw board. But The way he tanked and seemed unhappy on the turn, I just didn't put him on a flush draw. I feel usually people a lot more straight up. They just call, don't think too much about it. So my read is that he didn't have a flush draw. So I wanted to get value. And I bet $80 that, thinking back, I'm not a fan of, because I don't know what's calling that we're beating. That call sets a big size because the flush does get there. So if he has any jack, I think now he's just folding. So if I do bet here, I think I just got to make it small, trying to get calls from jacks, ace jack, king jack. But yeah, felt a little thin thinking back on it. But anyways, in the moment I do this, and he pretty quickly raises us to 250. So yeah, I don't think ace queen's ever good here after we bet pretty big and he raises us when a flush comes in. So yeah, I fold and he takes it down. After this hand, we go card dead for about an hour and a half, just not getting nothing, or just raising or calling from the button or blinds, or set mining and just missing. And it added up. So once again, we're down a good amount, $1,000. That was definitely a bummer since we were getting the money back pretty quickly. I was feeling good. But that's how poker is. It's a roller coaster sometimes, and we have plenty of time. Let's focus on to the next hand. Now we are in under the gun 1 with ace king off. I make it $15, cut off calls, and now small blind 3 bets is 75, and it's on to us. This player, he's one of the better regs in these games, probably one of the most aggressive ones that would have the widest 3 bet range in this position. So it doesn't mean that he only has premiums. But I decided just to call in the moment. I was kind of feeling I'm early position, so he'll be tighter than usual. But with another person left to talk, I don't think it's the best to call and incentivize the other player to call. Now we're going 3 ways. So probably looking back, I'd prefer 4 betting to 175, and like that, taking it heads up, and we'll be the aggressor and have that advantage. But anyways, in the moment, I do just call and cut off fold. So heads up to a flop. Flop comes jack 6-3. Now he checks, and I play with this player a lot, and I know a good amount of times in 3-bet pots, when he's out of position, he checks almost his full range and then goes to check raises from there. So I feel my hand is good a big amount of the time, and I don't want to bet and then get him check raising me and maybe have to fold if he has maybe ace jack or pocket queens, and he can still have pocket aces or pocket kings. So yeah, I don't think I need to turn my hand into a bluff. I think it's good plenty of the times. So I check back. Turn is a 3. He checks again, and after checking the flop, I don't see the merit in betting this turn. I think I'm mostly good here, so I check as well. River is a beautiful ace, so we have top, basically top of our range the way this was played. And I was planning on raising his bet if he does, but he bets $250. That is a pretty big overbet. And yeah, I tanked for a little while. I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to raise here. If I do, I got to go all in. And is anything worse than my hand going to call an all in this spot? Maybe there's still a chance he was slow playing a set. And yeah, in the moment, I just felt like just jamming here would be an overplay with just one pair. So I do just end up calling, and he shows ace king as well. So definitely would have been interesting if he would have called if I went all in there. But yeah, we chop it up. We get an upgrade in the small blind with ace king suited this time. There's 2 limpers. The button makes it $30. We 3-bet to 120, and only the button calls, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes 5 jack king, so top. I see bet for $75, and he pretty quickly folds, so we take it down. Another hour goes by with not many hands to play, just being card dead once again, until we looked at pocket kings in the button. Under the gun limps, I make it 20 and get the big blind and under the gun to call, so 3 ways to a flop. Flop is beautiful, 3 king ace, so middle set. It takes to us, and I'm just hoping please let somebody have an ace. I bet $30. Sadly, they did not because they both fold. Next hand, we're in the big blind with pocket 6s. We're just playing 3-handed. A lot of people left, and we were just trying to keep it going until midnight, since that's when the last $1,000 drawing is going on. Spoiler alert, I did not win. So yeah, for the next hands, we're just playing 3-handed. Button raises to 15, small blind calls, and so do we, so 3 ways to a flop. We see a beautiful flop of queen 6-8, so bottom set, and it's a very draw heavy board. That's great, because if he bets and we check raise him, he will be putting us on a lot of draws and call more often. Compared to if it was a dry board, we will look a lot stronger, so that's always good. So we check to the button, and he does bet. He bets $15, small blind calls, and of course, we're raising here.
We make it 60 and only the button calls. So heads up to a turn. Turn is great. It's a 3, so a complete brick. And since the draws haven't made it, we can bet big. So I make it $150. He thinks for a little bit and sadly does fold, so we take it down. Next time we're in a small blind with pocket 10s. The button limps. I make it 25. Big blind 3 bets to 80. Button folds. We call. Heads up to a flop. Flop is pretty great. 9, 6, 7. So we have an overpair and a gut shot. I check and he checks back. Turn is not that good. It's an ace. I check and now he bets $50. And yeah, he has a bunch of aces, but it's for $50. I can't fold. I call. River is a deuce. I check and we see the good news when he checks back. I show and we are good. It's past midnight now, so we're getting ready to leave. And we're surprised when the table starts filling up. We're 7-handed and it's super action. The players are amazing. That is kind of annoying because we've been playing 9 hours with a pretty tight table. And right when we're about to leave, it gets amazing. Thankfully, we get one decent hand in before we leave, so let's jump right into it. We've got pocket 9s in the big blind. Hijack limps. I make it 25 and he calls, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes 4, Jack, 7, and with the overcard to a pair, I'm happy to check to see what he does and decide what to do from there. So that's what I do, and he bets $80. That is huge, over pot and a half. And this just feel like one of those players that's just like, I think you're weak, so I'm going to bet huge because I want you to fold. So yeah, I'm not folding when it feels that way. I call. I'm just ready to call whatever bet he does because I feel like he has nothing with such a huge bet. So let's see the turn. Just in case our read wasn't right, the turn is a 9, giving us a set. Nice. I check and he does. He just rips it all in there for about $290. I snap call. Let's see the river. River's a 6, so not the best since now any 10 has a straight.
I know a 10 doesn't have a straight. It's a mistake. I was going to change the audio. The thing is, I had a whole issue with this vlog that the program I was using just wouldn't open it. I thought I lost it, but finally last minute I was able to download it. But with the audio, and I'm not a professional editor, I didn't know how to fix the audio to make it sound good. So I decided to show up and tell you that I know 10 is not a straight. What is a straight is 10-8. And yeah, so now that we fixed that, let's move on.
He shows a 7. That was definitely surprising. I don't know if he was bluffing with it or thought it was the best hand and was protecting. Who knows? I show my set and he mucks and we take down this last pot. And with that, we end our session. That's a shame because the table is super good, but I'm exhausted. I'm not used to playing these long of sessions. So I rack up. Let's cash out and see how we did. Alright guys, end of the session. It was 9 hours and I'm pretty tired. I usually play 5 hours, but today was a special day. Like every 3 months, they give this promotion that from 3 to 12, they give basically every beginning of the hour $1,000 and half an hour later 500, so 1,500. We didn't get any of it, sadly, and we were down little under 500. I'll put it here. That I'm very happy with because we were down like $1,200 in I think about an hour of playing 2-5-10 when we started. Just ran so bad, and then someone came and he didn't want to straddle. That was pretty, you know, it is what it is. Some people, he's a nice guy, it's just, you know, I do think it's bad for the game if everybody's straddling and you just show up and you don't want to and you just kind of ruin it for everybody else. But anyways, you know, it is what it is, and had to try my best to make back what I lost in like half the stakes because I was playing 2-5-10, then try to make it back in 2-5. It's a little harder, but we did make almost half of it back, more than half of it back. We were down 1,200 and we ended up down, as I put it here again, less than 500. So super happy, feels like a win. Got frustrated too because the game got so good towards the end. A little while we were playing 3-handed. It was about to break down, but we all just wanted to make it to midnight. That was the last $1,000 promotion, and right before 12 just it filled up, and just with a bunch of random people I had never seen before. It was so good. And you just see that last hand with pocket 9s. I'm pretty sure my 9s were good the whole way, and he showed a 7. when he overbet the flop, it just seems like he's trying to get me to fold. I got lucky to hit the set on the turn, but I don't think I needed it anyways. And yeah, just a bunch of people I never seen before. So yeah, kind of sad that I couldn't stay, but yeah, I'm way too tired. I gotta wake up early. It's already super late for me. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, a little longer session than usual, and some 2-5-10. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday as always. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment. Always happy to talk about any hand. And like, subscribe if you haven't, if you're watching this, and just scroll back. It really helps out if you guys subscribe, and I'll see you next Sunday.